How do we share our screen? What's going on, folks? How's everybody doing out there? Let's see. We got Jason on there. Jason, good to see you. Gerald Miller, hello. Good to see you. Gerald, is this the first time you've been on the live stream?
No.
I apologize if not. Ed, good to see you, buddy. Marty Hare, nice to see you. Evening. We'll wait for a few more folks to show up. How's our audio? Is our audio good? Summer talk. She was just yelling at me. She's about to kill, or you guys are about to witness a murder live. I had her changing some things in the website, and
only you knew how to change things on the website.
She's a little angry at me. Tony, good to see you, man. Good. Glad to have you back, Gerald. Who else we got? We got a few other folks on there. Say hello. Willie, good to see you. Folks, we got a lot of stuff to cover tonight. Today's gonna be a little more product focused, which I think a lot of people like anyhow. And we will the 30th, folks. We have a special guest coming on the 30th that you are not going to want to miss. I want to welcome everybody that's here. John, good to see you. Chad, good to see you.
Thanks, John.
Michael C, good to see you. Oh, you got Knack with you. Good. Aaron, good to see you. From behind enemy lines. Where are you up? In New York, Maryland, California. Scott, good to see you. We got to get a bigger screen. It's like so far away. It's so small. I'm about to get it's time to upgrade screens, but we need a bigger one. She loves it when it's time to upgrade stuff.
According to you, it's always time to upgrade stuff.
Gear acquisition syndrome. It's a real thing. So anyways, folks, today's going to be a little gear centric. I want to make sure that you guys are asking some questions. If there is a piece of equipment or whatever it is, whether it's something we carry or something we don't, make sure you guys hit us up on any questions that you have, recommendations that we may want to give you or anything like that. So, and that's what these live streams are all about. It's a time to give you guys complete access to me and to Summer and to anybody else that we have on here as a special guest. If you guys missed last week's show where we had the Gun Trust Guru on, folks, you guys need to go back and watch that again. That was I know it was extremely informative for us. On the 30th, we have a special guest that's coming on that I think you guys will find especially interesting. It has a lot to do with everything that's going on with these different credit card companies and some of the other things that we've experienced with our payment systems getting shut down because of the type of business that we do. And I think it goes right into overall preparation, more on the financial side. It's going to touch on crypto, especially. That's an area that I would like to know more about. And anyways, make sure you are here on the 30th. Make sure you're here at every live stream. But if you are interested and want to know more about crypto and how that could possibly protect your assets, protect your privacy, protect your anonymity, I think you're going to want to be there for that for sure. So I'm pretty excited about that, and we'll get that. We'll start advertising that very soon.
Ed said glasses will help you.
Glasses I can see just fine. It's just 25 feet away. Binoculars might help me with this.
Exaggerator.
I need binos. Actually, we just need to pull everything. If I just had pulled the camera, pulled everything forward, we'd be pretty good.
Tony said there's some reverb in the audio.
Some reverb in the audio. Think it. Let me see. Go to settings real quick in audio.
Right here.
Yeah. Go to audio and hit echo cancellation. All right, try that. Tony, let me know if there's still some reverb. Of course, it cut out on us. Tony, let me know if there's still some reverb on there. I think I was trying a different mic setup with Summer. I bet we're getting some
contamination there. Anyways.
Of course, I'm contaminating.
No,
It's always me.
You're not
It's always me.
It's not you contaminating. I'm just saying we're getting some crossover with the audio. Not your fault, 100% my fault. And
Darn right.
just a tad reverb. Let me know if it's still there. All right. I don't know. It is what it is. We probably need to change out Summer's. I'll try to talk a little quieter and more direct into this mic. That's probably what it is a little bit. If it gets too bad, we will switch out mics for Summer. All right. So I wanted to get into some of the products we have. We have actually a host of new product lines that we are now working with. One of the things that I've been wanting to carry for a long time is positional shooting bags. We just started carrying Armageddon gear. So if you guys are wanting to get into long range shooting, there's definitely some things there that I would recommend, but you can go to our website. How do we share our screen, bud?
Share.
Yep, share screen. All right, so we're going to just hit share screen. Entire screen. Just where it says entire screen.
Allow.
Or allow. If you go to our website there, again, if you go to shop and then by brand, you can go check out what we have for Armageddon gear. We have some accessory equipment coming up with that as well. I would definitely look at some of the fat bags. Click on that. Right there.
Quick.
You definitely want to check out some of the fat bags, probably the medium and or the large. Those are especially helpful when it comes to positional shooting so that you can get them between your elbow and your body and or your elbow and your knees. Those are really great. Also, the flat bags are a really great option for shooting off of barricades. And also all their suppressor covers. They make some of the best suppressor covers on the market. We have most of the options and models there. And then the other one that I would definitely recommend would be the game changer bags. They have this medium there. We also have the standard size. There it is down there.
Okay.
Down there. I would go with the standard size. Those are just super multifunctional. You can get a lot of different uses off of those. Everything from shooting off of barricades to using it as a rear bag like that. To using it as a front bag. It's just a great option. So those are some new items that we're carrying. To go back real quick. And then this mini plate pro pad. If you look at that, you don't need to click on it. Well, that's fine. If you look at this is actually a really cool shooting bag. Now that plate that you have there, that is not included. That is a Gray Ops CNC plate, and we're in the middle of doing our first dealer purchase with them as well. But that clamps right onto your ARCA rail. Now you have essentially a bag that's integrated into your rifle. So it's a really cool option there too. So again, continue to look for new products. We're adding new products all the time. Next weekend, we're going to have Dan, our web guy, on. He's going to talk about some of the other great things that we have coming up with that as well. So definitely check that out. Go back to the string gun and get off that. All right. So if you guys have any questions on any of those, definitely hit me up. Recommendations, entry to mid-level 6.5. Let's see. Well, I guess throw up Gerald's question. Gerald, that just depends on what you mean by mid-level. I guess it really comes down to your budget, right? So let me know what you're looking at spending. Right off the top of my head, I'm thinking along the lines of Tika, the T3X.
We have those on sale right now.
And we have, as a matter of fact, Gerald, the Tika T3X. What are those on sale for right now?
They're I think 17.
17. They're usually over $2,000. We have, I think, 1 or 2 left.
2.
We have 2 left that we're just closing out. So keep that in mind. If you're looking for something even cheaper than that, you can look at Bergara. I mean, it just depends. If it's just a hunting rifle, I would definitely point you toward Bergara. Those are great rifles for the money. So, you know, that's something to look at. Jason has a question there. Looking to grab a game chamber eventually. Yep. Yeah. Been there, done that, Jason.
We still have some of those around too.
Yeah, I still got some up there that I've had for many years. That's what I went to sniper school with.
Gerald said 3K-ish.
Gerald, if you're looking at 3K, man, you know, I would definitely, if I would actually tell you, look, go with the MPA PMR Pro 2. And then, you know, if that's your total budget, then look at getting like an ARC and EP5. Man, I just have a hard time pointing anybody toward a rifle other than the MPA PMR Pro. I think it just, again, I think it just offers the absolute, that rifle should be $3,500, my opinion. I mean, it's just what you get for the money is just unbelievable compared to anything else. Look, we got the Dale Defense Delta 5 Pro right over there. Great rifle, $2,500. There is absolutely no comparison between the PMR Pro 2 and that Delta 5 Pro. I think the Delta 5 Pro is great for $2,500. The PMR Pro 2 is great for $3,500. It just happens to be $2,500. So I would point you toward that, and then, you know, spend a little less on the optic. Get an Arkin EP5. That's a great optic for the money. It's $500. And we're going to talk about some mounts and stuff tonight too. So that's where I would definitely point you at too. Let's see. Ruger Precision is what I run. Hey, you know, there's nothing wrong with Ruger Precision. I don't have it up there, but I have it in a case over there. Nothing wrong with that rifle. I will say that my only issue with the Ruger Precision is the adjustable stock. But at the end of the day, you know, there's some fit and finish issues with the overall Ruger Precision. Again, I think it still is a pretty good value. I don't know what those run right now, with like $1,500, something like that.
You changed the stock on that.
I ended up putting the PRS, the Magpul PRS stock, so it's an adjustable stock. I hated the stock on that thing. And again, anyone that's coming to me and say, "Hey, look, I'm looking at $1,500," I would say, look, save up another grand, buy the MPA PMR Pro. It'll be a rifle that you're going to keep forever. As soon as you start getting into some of these other rifles, especially if you start looking at doing competition or you get heavy into it, right? You are going to have a rifle that you're going to keep forever. And you're never going to feel the need to upgrade. It's easy to change out the barrels. The accessories on them are great. Man, it's just really hard for me to point to anybody else, which is why I've just pretty much decided not to carry anything else either. Like, we can, you know, if a client contacts us and asks us to get something else, we have and we will. But as far as, you know, what we are promoting and advertising, I think MPA really does fall into that category of what I feel like best represents the level of quality and the level of value. I mean, just what you get for that is just really hard to beat. Aaron says, yeah, man, Aaron, I've seen both of those. I got both of those. Go with the PMR Pro 2. I'm telling you, when you see that, neither one of those rifles, well, I don't know what the SIG runs, but the SIG Cross is in my opinion, is a good lightweight hunting rifle. It is not a competition rifle. And I've also seen a lot of bad reviews on those as well. So, you know, take that for what it is. The Dale Defense Delta 5 Pro, it's a good rifle. It's good for $2,500. But you stand at the PMR Pro 2 and that one next to one another. There's no comparison. There really isn't. What else we got? All right. So the other thing I want to talk about is I got them right there, and I got one right here. Folks, this is the Delta. This is the Bog Death Grip Infinite. Mm-hmm. It's new to Bog, fairly new. It's been out for a couple months. This is essentially, if you guys have checked out my, if you've seen my video review, and I'm getting ready to do a video review on both of these as well, but I'm just kind of giving you the inside scoop here. It's essentially the same thing, but you actually get a ball head on it. And what is really cool is the ball head comes with an ARCA rail integrated into it. This thing is super good quality. I've been very impressed with this. There you go. You got a fully, basically, fully kitted out PMR Pro back there. It has no problem. It's super rock steady. What is also cool, that one behind me is an aluminum one. It's an OD green. I really like this color, actually. And again, on the bottom of this is an Arca rail. So if you don't have an Arca rail on your gun, number one, you should get one. Again, they're on our website. It's a great upgrade. It's a fairly cheap upgrade to your rifles. It allows you to use Arca rail bipods in all your rifles. It's easy to convert them. But if you are going to use a rifle without an Arca rail, you do get the saddle. And the saddle there, again, is just Arca rail. So you can take this off or put this on however you want to do. The other thing that's cool about that is they're not just for shooting, right? So they also come with an extra Arca rail that you can mount to a camera. So now you have a great camera tripod with a ball head on it that's 100% adjustable, 360 degrees, cant, tilt, pan, anything that you want to do with that. And then whether you have, might be, another camera, your binos, a laser rangefinder, you can throw this extra Arca rail, which I think is really cool that they included this, and you're good to go. So that is something I would definitely recommend. What I'm doing with these two right here is we're going to do a review on both of this, the carbon fiber one and that green aluminum one back there. I'll have the whole video review, but if you want one of these, and I'm not going to beat them up or do anything like that, they're going to stay in here. I'm going to do a video on them. If you want one of these, we're going to go ahead just to help just to take care of the people that watch these live streams. If you want to order one of these two, all right, it's going to be opened. But other than that, what we're going to do is basically give it to you for wholesale. They're both $50 off. The first two people that get, or the first one person that gets carbon fiber one, we'll give that to you for $50 off. Go ahead and pay full price for it on the listing.
So you can
claim it. And then you can claim it. And then Summer and I will go in there and we'll refund you $50 on each of these.
You can even write a little note. Hey, I'm claiming my $50 off.
Now, if you're not the first one, we'll let you know, hey, you didn't make it in time. If you still want it, we'll still give you a 10% discount. Liberty 1776, use that in the discount code. So you still get that. So there's those. Folks, for what you get out of these, what's the retail price on the carbon fiber one?
$3.99.
It's $3.99. The aluminum,
$2.99.
The aluminum one is $2.99. The ball head that you get with this, the saddle that you get with this, and just the overall quality of these. We removed that banner. The overall quality of these for what they cost compared to all the other tripods in the market, it's really has two. I mean, it's just it's hard to beat the overall value of those. So there's that. Let's see. What's that? Paul Woodruff says SIG has 2 recalls. Yeah. Man, I've seen a lot of bad reviews on the SIG Cross. We do have one of our instructors that has one. He brought one out to the course just for let the students shoot. His shot fine. It was shooting just under 1 MOA. It's a really light rifle. There again, it's just not a competition rifle, but it would make a lot of sense as a good, hunting rifle. I think it's probably a good value. But there again, there's lots of good hunting rifles. So, it's trying to be 2 things, like this light competition rifle, and it doesn't really fulfill that. And then if you compare it to other hunting rifles that are light that shoot well, now it's kind of expensive when you consider that. So we can think about that. The other thing that I want to talk about are, folks, these MPA BA mounts for your optics. Man, I just can't say enough about these. I've been super impressed with the quality of these. These, as far as quality, surface area and just the overall fit and finish of these, and the rigidity of these, but yet they're much lighter weight. They're right up there as far as what they do and they accomplish. They're right up there with Spur. You can also get your turret guards. I have some of those coming up. I'll show those on another live stream, or I'll probably have those on a video review on this. But this is basically a Spur mount, but a lot lighter. And the quality of these is really good. I know a lot of people ask me, hey, Gary, you know, what height? Obviously, they come in different ring sizes. This one is a 30 millimeter. Obviously, if you have a 30 millimeter tube, you need that, or a 34 millimeter. They also come in 35 millimeter if you're running a loophole, or some of the other ones that come in a 35 millimeter tube. If as far as height, if you're running 30 millimeter, I recommend the 1.125. If you're running a 34 millimeter objective, I'm sorry, if you're running a 50 millimeter objective or smaller, I recommend the 1.125. If you're running a 54 millimeter objective or larger, go with the 1.25. But honestly, if you have an adjustable buttstock, it's not going to matter that much. You can go with the higher, the 1.25. You're going to be fine no matter what, because you're just going to adjust that. And the difference between the height over bore of that, ballistically, just doesn't make really any difference at all. So definitely go check those out. The other thing, the MPA, that we got a bunch of these in. I've been really impressed with these. They were using them out on the last long range course. The MPA brakes, folks, these muzzle brakes, number one, they look sick. Some remove your head. I don't know if they guys can see that one on back there. You really can't see that. But again, I'll have this on a video. These muzzle brakes are really, really nice. They're essentially self-timing. This is basically a two-piece between this nut and I know you guys can't see that well, but back here is the actual nut that threads onto the barrel. And then this piece right here, the actual muzzle brake portion, actually threads off of that. And then basically you can time that as you tighten it down. Super easy to install. And it's super effective. They're up to reduce recoil up to 60%. They do come in the 6.5 and 30 cal. I think that's the only two calibers that they come in. They may come in larger ones. I can't remember off the top of my head on that, but excellent muzzle brake. Let's see. Hunter. I just shot a match on Sunday. Everybody there hated me because of that break. It works awesome. Good. There you go, folks. Yeah, I mean, number one, 6.5 barely moves. And then once we threw this on the 6.5 Creedmoor guns to begin with, man, that thing didn't move at all. They're super impressive break with that. So go check those out. I think you're going to be hard pressed to find a better break. Definitely, you know, if we put one on a pendulum and really tested out all the brakes out there, you know, there might be one or two that perform slightly better, but you're not going to notice it. The differences, and this really is really well made. And quite frankly, they look awesome. They look good. And I don't care who you are. It has to be, your gear has to look good, right? Maybe the number one consideration. The other thing that I want to talk about real quick is we got some PWS pistol uppers or SBR uppers, however you want to, depending on what lower receiver you install that on. I need to do a full review on PWS. I've been shooting PWS rifles, man, for over 10 years now. Though my main rifle is a PWS. It's piston ran. It has a gas piston. I'll just show you this real quick. But unlike LWRC and some of those other ones, it is a long stroke piston. It's essentially the exact same system from an AK-47. Folks, these guns stay so clean. They run so much cooler. And I had well over 40,000 rounds through my last PWS upper. I ordered a new upper and was good to go, and that thing's still running. Been a big fan of this. The accuracy, I know on mine, I can't speak for, you know, obviously I've shot a few. They've all performed well, but it's a very small, you know, sample overall. But I know that most people that start shooting PWS rarely go back. My AR-15 chambered in 223 Wild, I was shooting less than a 1-inch group with box ammunition, good box. It was 77 grain. I forgot what it was, but I was shooting at 200 yards, shooting under a 1-inch group at 200 yards. And I was just basically checking my zero. I wasn't putting a lot of really trying to group really well. But that was 5 rounds, under an inch at 200 yards, without going into hand loading or anything like that. It was good match grade ammunition, but nothing crazy. The other thing that I really like about this gun, especially if you're going to run it suppressed, is the fact that it has an adjustable gas block. It has an adjustable gas block up here. You have a 3-position gas block. Again, so you're going to have a setting for just about anything that you're running. The other thing that's on our website right now, I got a few of these in. I love these, especially for these short barrel guns, is their linear gas brake, their CQB muzzle brake. This thing is sick. It directs all of that gas forward, all the sound forward. I used to run one of these. I used to run a 6-inch shorty when I was deployed for my CQB gun in Iraq and Afghanistan. And I had one of those on there, and it made all the difference in the world trying to shoot in a room with other folks. So those will go on any gun, not just PWS. So if you have a short barreled rifle or a pistol, I highly recommend that. That will definitely keep that muzzle blast moving forward and not be so ridiculous and loud to your left and right, or if you're shooting inside a structure. Let's see.
Tony, that was a Masterpiece Arms.
That's Masterpiece Arms.
Break.
It's on our website. Go to ParamountTactical.com and then go to you can shop by brand, MPA, Masterpiece Arms. And check that out.
Dean said, "Thank you for the Vortex scope. I'll be mounting on my new LaRue AR."
You're welcome. Was that last? No, it was a couple of weekends ago. We did a giveaway and Dean won a scope.
Also, it was apparently Dean's 50th anniversary when it was our anniversary.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Summer and I's anniversary was yesterday. She has been blessed for 16 years. Lord Almighty, God bless me. I'm pretty much a saint.
Oh, man.
I told someone earlier, she's beautiful. She just
makes bad decisions.
Makes bad decisions.
Oh.
Delaware just passed the assault weapon ban, so thank God I got enough lowers and we can still buy uppers.
For now.
Yeah, for now. They're
working on that.
Working on all ends. Aaron says my PWS 16 is my rookie. Yeah. That's the one I'm running right now is a 16-inch. I had the 14-inch. Just have decided I'm not a fan of 14-inch rifles just because it's pinned. Of course, as a class 3, I could not do that. But I just like the ability to change, those muzzle devices without running into a bunch of nonsense. Tony said he missed the brand of the brake.
So we already addressed it.
Oh, yeah. There you go. What did Aaron say here? Makes.
I don't know.
Yes, 100%. I'm assuming you're talking about maybe this brake. Not sure which one you're talking about, Aaron, but everything I've said so far is 100% true. No doubt about it. What else was I going to talk about? Oh, hey, folks. So one of the things, obviously, one of my big initiatives this year is really trying to figure out how to get away from, and this goes back to the cryptocurrency and some of the other things we're going to discuss on the 30th. For those of you who don't know, basically, Summer and I, we used to use PayPal as a payment processing company, right? And what happens with PayPal and all these people is, different events take place, political, changes in the wind take place. And they send out these updated terms of service. Well, when Summer and I first started using PayPal, there was no issues, using it to process gun orders. We're FFL class 3. Everything we do is, above board and 100% legal. Well, what was it, 2 years ago?
Something like that.
2 years ago, PayPal decided just out of the blue, shut down our account and took $8,000 of our money.
Seized all the money in it.
Seized all the money. And as they change, as these different things change, they send you new terms of service. And of course, you don't read every line of that. You say, yeah, okay. What I never imagined is that I was agreeing to the ability, nor did I think it was even legally possible that, you know, a private entity could just seize your money. And they claimed it was damages. We ended up taking them to court. It took a year and a half, almost 2 years, and we ended up getting like $6,500 of it back. But it was and they even took Summers. They attached our account, our business account with PayPal, to Summers' private account that's used for eBay and things like that, and also seized her money and canceled her personal account. So these are things that we're continuing to see as we, you know, with pressure on Second Amendment businesses. And, you know, I never thought I'd be in a country. I never thought the United States would be a country where you have constitutionally protected activities that are just completely under siege, and no one really seems to care, right? And, you know, people say, well, you know, it's a private entity. Well, guess what? You know, I think at the end of the day, our government's job is to protect our constitutional rights. And I don't think, in my opinion, that shouldn't apply to private entities to begin with, especially entities that basically have a monopoly on these types of things. So, you know, because here's, at the end of the day, they can't discriminate against you for, you know, race, creed, sexual preference, you know. So in my opinion, as far as what we do, a lot of these different protections should also be, we should be protected against this type of thing, this discrimination as a business. And you know, the only reason that PayPal gets away with this, banks can't do that. PayPal gets away with it because they claim that they're not a bank. Yet, you know, they do everything a bank does. They're just protected by the government in the same way that freedom of speech, they have that in the same way that, you know, these social media sites can basically infringe on your freedom of speech because I forgot what the rule was, or they're exempt. And I forgot what it is. But the point is that, you know, we're continuing now. Also, we had another, what was the other one that happened right after Uvalde?
Square canceled us, and QuickBooks Payments canceled us, and there's some, and then so I signed up for Stripe to try to have a on-site mobile payment processing capability at the range, and they immediately canceled us. So it's just been one thing after another.
So, you know, it's been a real challenge, and we're not the only ones going through that. Obviously, a lot of people are, and this isn't to, you know, turn to a bitch fest or complain. I know the operating environment, and it is what it is, but it's a shame that it's happening. And it's not just about us, it's about all the other small businesses that are being wrecked by this. Because I tell you, you know, it's taking hundreds and hundreds of hours of our time to rectify all this, between court costs, between legal fees, between the time that we spent, between trying to find a new payment process. We went like 3 weeks where we couldn't even process the payment on our website. We lost a lot. I mean, you know, tens of thousands of dollars in revenue because we couldn't process payments, and we're still having, you know, hiccups and issues. And then we lost another probably, I don't know, hundreds of hours of man and woman hours.
Mostly woman hours. Mostly woman hours
of summer researching the stuff. And then once we got it in place, all the time that it takes to integrate it into the website and all these other things. It's just, you know, it's a complete nut roll. So we're continuing to try to find companies and businesses and platforms that, you know, are Second Amendment friendly and are dedicated to freedom of speech, protecting our rights. So my point about this, and some of you already know, is we'll be doing all our newsletters and other information through Substack. We pulled one of those banners, Ben. So if you haven't already joined our Substack, it's all at the bottom. Make sure you go do that. Now, what we're going to be able to do with Substack, and I completely misspelled some of those words, Paramount Tactic. All right, there's only one T in there. Summer did that, I think.
Nope, not me.
But what, one T, folks, one T. Tactical. Anyways, we're going to be doing a lot of different things in there. So number one, we're going to start writing some articles on there. Number two, we can use that as a newsletter when we have specials that come out. We can't even do that through our website and things like that, just because, again, the nature of our business, they have shut down us sending out newsletters, like announcing new courses, all these things. So Substack is dedicated to freedom of speech. It's kind of where all of the different journalists and things like that have left the New York Times, there's a bunch of them out there. And this is what currently, this may change in the future, but currently they're very dedicated to freedom of speech and allowing us to do what we need to do. So sign up for that. We'll also be doing like gun raffles and all the things that we can't do on Facebook, YouTube. So make sure you check that out. We'll also be writing some articles and publishing them on there as well. So you can get rid of that. So make sure you go hit that up. I'm also looking into doing Rumble. We'll start moving, at least posting all of our videos on Rumble as well. Things are a little weird on Rumble. I don't really like or understand fully their terms of service. It seems like you're basically giving up the ownership of your content when you put it on Rumble. I don't know. I'm going to continue to research that. You can go to comments.
Oh, sorry, I'm out of it.
Yeah. Let's see.
John said Venmo. Venmo is owned by PayPal, John, and
Same thing.
The minute they canceled PayPal, they canceled all the Venmo as well.
And we part of our agreement, our settlement with them is we can never use PayPal again. Neither one of us.
Or Venmo.
So there's that. Owned by PayPal. Bunch of commies. What Aaron say here?
Scott said, what about e-transfers? I don't know if you're referring to Venmo, but right now Zelle works, but that's meant to be more of like friends and family payments, person-to-person payment system. So it's a little different.
Clarify that question, Scott. Dan Bongino is supposed to have a two-way friendly payment processor. I've heard him. So right now we're good. We have one. It's just been a real pain to get it started, get everything reintegrated. I mean, it took weeks and weeks and weeks to get everything reintegrated into the website. Right now, I think our payment processing is good, right? Mm-hmm. We even have mobile processing.
I do have mobile right now. Yep.
So
we found a local guy that was actually recommended to us by a client, and he's very available, very helpful, and he's local. So we're supporting local business, and it's working out well right now.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind looking into what Dan Bongino is offering. I really like Dan and everything that he says and stands for. If anyone's going to take Rush's spot on the radio, he was a good candidate for that. So, again, and following up with that, we really do appreciate, can't say it enough. We really appreciate the support that we get from you guys, the business that you give us. We really do appreciate that. And Summer and I see every bit of that. We're just a mom and pop shop, literally. We have, a whole cadre of instructors, but as far as, the business side, everything from payment processing to products to shipping to, you're looking at the whole crew. Actually, we've got our 8-year-old. He is a shipping master now. He's the shipping manager, and he comes down here and we pay him a little something, but he knows how to weigh everything, get everything boxed up. He's been great. So he's been a real force multiplier on that. So, but again, we appreciate the business. I will say our revenue has probably doubled in the last 4 months. And it's because of you and your support. So we do appreciate that. Also, I'd be remiss to say, to leave out Dan and Summer. Dan has done so much with our SEO, optimizing on our website. What he's done with our website has been phenomenal. So I really appreciate his efforts. Summer definitely doesn't get nearly enough credit. She works nonstop as we both do, but we're usually putting in about 16 to 18-hour days, just going through process and everything. The other thing I will say is I just want to always remind folks that we are not Amazon.
It's me, guys. It's me. And Noah.
Most of our orders are going out, that day or the next day or within 2 days, very quickly. But we still get orders, and again, we appreciate the business. And maybe it's just a matter of us setting the expectations correctly, but if it doesn't go out that day,
Some people get upset.
some people are getting upset.
Most people are understanding, but
99% of them are.
Some people still get upset if they don't get their order like next day.
Yeah. Mark, what does Mark say here? Yes, building a potential parallel economy is great, but stop as much as possible in taking part in their economy. I cut out everything on the side to the day I can cut it all out. Absolutely. Scott
clarified email money transfer through online banking. I do 95% of sales that way.
We'll have to
we need more information on that.
Yeah. Scott, shoot me an email, Gary at ParamountTactical.com. I'd like to know more about that. Again, what this has all made me realize is making sure that we're building in redundancy, right? We have multiple systems in place, whether it's communication like this, like I said, through Substack. We're still using Facebook and YouTube and all of those things. But I'll be honest with you, the faster that I can get away from these guys, the better off that we are.
And to be honest, I did have some redundancy built in when I had, payment processing on the site, then Square plus online QuickBooks, payments, and then they just went through and bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, right after Uvalde, all of those shut us down.
Yeah.
And that was not part of their terms, and they had nothing in there where we were violating any terms with the current agreement. So it was just their decision to stop doing business with them.
Aaron said start them young.
Absolutely.
Daryl said need help. I work for store credit.
we may have to take you up on that one day. Right now we're good, but
Noah might get a little upset if he can't get his pocket change.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Folks, one of the things, so we had a corporate client, and I know many of you probably saw the email that went out, the level 2 invitational, the email and Substack on that. That is something that basically we had a corporate client that wanted some private training. They had a few people that, because of other issues, basically couldn't come on the Sunday. I didn't want to cancel on the range that we used. And I also wanted to still provide the folks, again, there's a certain number of people that we needed a course for it to make money. So my idea was to kind of salvage that as something I've been wanting to do for a while anyhow, and we are going to do that. And that's basically like an invitational. I guess you could, to break it down the easiest way, think of it as a team and individual kind of smaller version of, tactical games, something that has team building involved, problem solving involved. For those of you who don't know, former SF guy, when you go through selection for SF, they have team week there. And that's what you're essentially doing, is that you are given a bunch of problems that you have to solve and accomplish. And if you are not working as a team and everybody putting out, along with all the tactical stuff, right? So what I want to do is basically create a course, and I'm definitely going to have some course dates for that next year. Now, with that, there's going to be some prerequisites. Prerequisites will be tactical carbine level 1 and 2, handgun level 1 and 2, and our med course, because we're going to have different events that are going to include all of that. You're going to be running and gunning. You're going to be tired. You're going to be under stress. And that's how, if you don't have the experience, that's when bad things happen, right? You're going to fall apart mentally. You're not switched on, and all you're thinking about is how much you're sucking. And then, your muzzle awareness and, trigger discipline, all those things go out the window. So we're going to be doing that. I'll be putting those up on the calendar for next year. So be looking for that. But there again, we have prerequisites for a reason. I don't care if you've taken a course with somebody else. I need to verify you. That is, when we are doing shooting on the move and other high performance shooting events, I think anybody that is not seen and have some experience with a client, and they let you jump right into that because you took a course with, I don't know, whoever, doesn't matter. Or, you show up to the range and you say you're this or that, or you're so good. I think it's just gross negligence. It really is. So anyways, make sure that you go, if you're interested in doing something like that with us, make sure that you go check out those prerequisites. Make sure you get them: tactical carbine level 1 and 2, handgun level 1 and 2, and our med course. Everyone should hit like and subscribe, right? Absolutely.
I like Gerald's.
I'm the worst at that. I forget to say that stuff and do all those things on our on our YouTube videos and everything else. What else we got here? Yeah, community being built here. Yeah, Willie. Willie's been around for a long time. There's several of the folks that are on the stream right now. How far we've come in the last few years is pretty amazing. And again, we appreciate the support and how fast this has grown. I
don't know if this sounds cheesy, but honestly, we still get excited every time we see an order come through.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, look, an order. Oh, look, an order. I know it sounds silly, but it's still exciting for us to get an order on the website or see an enrollment in a course. It really
100%. 3 or 4 years ago, we were getting we'd get, 100 people on the website in a week. We're like, oh my God, so awesome. And, I was talking to Dan the other day. He's like, dude, you know how much you're averaging per day on the website? Somewhere between 6,000 and 7,000 people on our website per day.
Now, if they'd all make a purchase.
We could start our own payment processing company.
That's right. Eagle Eye said, this is what we use for our FFL. I don't know. Maybe he's referring to the email money transfer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you're leaving us on the edge of our seat there. That was a good job, Eagle Eye. The suspense is killing us. Hopefully you'll throw some extra information up there. Yeah, we will do an unknown distance course. That is actually something we have planned in for next year. And quite frankly, we're going to be, there's some YouTube folks that I just had on the channel not too long ago. And we're going to be doing some PRS intro courses, coming into probably the spring. And then with that, what we're going to start doing is some of our own competitions, maybe even include some PRS, get PRS involved as well. We'll see what all of that involves, but regardless, what I want people to do is be able to come out, take the information that we give them in a course, and then put them in a situation where they can apply that. And then they can see where the strengths and weaknesses are. And of course, we do that in culmination drills in every course. But there again, I think once you get out there, do a full day of shooting of just essentially seeing where you are as a shooter in different situations, I think obviously in a competition environment, if you will. But I do want to change things up and kind of do some of our own things, a mix between a little bit of tactical shooting along with PRS. And I know they have their own LE and MIL kind of versions of that, but there's some things that I've been looking at that I want to do that is a little bit different, but we may end up getting sucked into that black hole as well and just go with PRS. They are a well-known organization, and we can, we have the ranges to where we could farm out those ranges and run our own courses, or run our own courses of fire and our own competitions as well.
Hunter said, until you see my name with it to mount the orders. By the way, Hunter, your scope came this afternoon.
Yep.
So it's here safely.
It is here safely. Your rifle's, he's the one with the white rifle, right?
No.
Oh.
His rifle's not here yet.
Oh, okay. We're still waiting on your rifle. I think I sold it to somebody else, Hunter. Don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. Let's see. What else we got here?
John says, what is the best state in the Southeast, ocean nearby, to live in, 2A friendly? Need to start working on the bride for a couple of years down the road. I'm partial to Georgia. South Carolina is also very nice.
I don't know. They got a lot of fraud going on in Georgia. I
don't mean politically.
Well, yeah, that's what he's saying. It's 2A friendly.
They are 2A.
I mean, they are 2A friendly, but I'm just saying that could change. They're definitely turning more purple.
Darn Atlanta.
Yeah, because of Atlanta. South Carolina is good right now, man. If it was nothing but politics involved and warm weather, I'd be heading to Florida. Not gonna lie. Where we'd like to live is probably in South Carolina, outside of Charleston, something like that. We really like that area, or even somewhere like Savannah. We're the same way. We want to be right there on the coast.
Yeah. Eagle Eye clarified. He said authorized.net, which I've heard is a good one for with Pinwheel. So we used Pinwheel previously. We used Elevon, but we used Pinwheel previously as our gateway, and we had some issues with it, as well as it was very expensive for us. We switched over to Accept Blue as our gateway, and we still have Elevon as the processor right now. And Accept Blue is saving us a lot of money and seems to be working really well. And the developer is very responsive as well when you have questions about it. So I like that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Sometimes if you put any sort of website address or anything like that, a lot of times YouTube will cut that out.
I didn't know that.
What other questions do we have, folks?
Hold on. Scott says, on courses, are your long-range rifle courses friendly to a 63-year-old with bad knees and a bad hip? And how do you feel about Canadians?
Well, you guys are almost Americans. No, yeah, absolutely. Scott, our level 1 is specifically designed to be just that. And that is, essentially you're going to be either shooting off of a bench or shooting in the prone. And sometimes people that are more mature have a hard time staying in the prone for that long. So sometimes you got to get up and get on a bench. We'll take care of you at that.
We had a gentleman in our last course that shot off the bench the whole course.
Yeah.
And he did fine.
How old was George?
Gene.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
how old is he?
I think he's like 78
Yeah.
or something like that.
So, and that's the great thing
Gene,
about
if
long
I'm getting
range.
your age wrong, please don't hate me.
Yeah. He looks 50. If you are getting, that's the thing about long range shooting that's great. It can be, you can be as run and gun as you want and go into the PRS sector or another competition, or, it's one of those things you can just sit there and really enjoy and just chill out, relax, and shoot. There's nothing more gratifying than, getting all of between the mechanics of your gun, knowing that your gun's set up right. And that's kind of fun to learn all that, get the internal, external, and terminal ballistics right. And then, knowing that you can reliably hit steel at distance. That is a fun skill to have. And it's a very complex skill that is 98% mental and 2% physical. So, it's one of the perfect sports for those that are a little bit more physically challenged. So, and even younger kids, it's one of those great sports. Now the 22, that whole genre is just really kicking off too. So, and very competitively too. So you could run and bolt guns that are essentially look just like these guns. Some of these are $4,000 or $5,000 22 LR guns. So a lot of different options and it's just a fun thing to get into. I love everything about, optics. I love the science behind it. I love the setup, the meticulous approach that you have to make sure that everything is working correctly in that entire system. You have everything from the shooter to the rifle, to the optic, to the mounts, to the ammunition. And then you have obviously the environmentals. And if any one of those things breaks down, you're not going to be successful at distance. And that's what's fun. It's very gratifying. What do we got here? Aaron says,
No, Hunter just kicked me some profit ahead. Oh yeah. Oh, they're talking about where they should move.
Yeah.
Isn't that humid in Tennessee?
It can be. Yeah. Right there land between the lakes and stuff like that, it gets pretty humid. So it can definitely, but the temperature is not crazy like it is in get a little further south. So, it is what it is. What else, folks? What other questions do you got while we got out here? We got about another 10, 15 minutes. We'll run on this. Roger, I never thought of
Laying in the prone would become an endurance event.
Seemed to coincide with That's right. And especially when you first start shooting, folks, you have to learn. Number one, you got to get that rifle set up right.
Well, that's what happened at our last long range course when Mo helped everyone set up their rifle properly.
Yep.
The second day is they felt so much less fatigue being
100%.
down behind that rifle than they did the first day. Less neck pain and less eye fatigue, and so it made a huge difference.
Between setting up your rifle correctly and then just learn to relax and lay on that gun. All you're doing is laying on that gun. And the first 10, 15 times you go to the range, you're not going to be there. It's going to be pain. You're trying to hold your body up. You're using muscles that you're not used to. But once you get to the point where you can just lay on that gun and relax, you're literally just laying there and using your trigger finger. So it takes a little bit of time to get comfortable behind the gun, but put in the work, put in the effort, practice, do grouping drills regularly when you can't get to shooting long range. Grouping drills, folks, is one of the best things that you can do to really build that skill. Not only learning to get comfortable behind your gun, but just really being able to focus and building up the endurance, right? So, you know, when I was on a sniper team and I was shooting all the time, I could sit there, and one of the first things we'd always do is shoot like 10 5-round groups. And I could sit there and feel comfortable shooting 10 5-round groups. You know, now that I don't get to shoot as much, you know, it really takes a lot of effort for me to get comfortable and to do a good 5-round group or two 5-round groups. But the more that you build up that endurance with your eyes and just being able to lay there and keeping your body still and steady, grouping drills, folks, I can't say it enough. That's something that you can do. You take all the fundamentals that we teach you in the course, you go do grouping drills, you'll be surprised how much you improve on that. But you got to get those fundamentals first, right? That's why it's so important to come to one of our courses where we can really help you set up your gun. The $700 or whatever it is for the 2-day course that we provide will save you so much money and so much time and headache that it's unfathomable, because we're going to progress you so much faster. So, you know, come to the course. You're taking the long route if you think you're going to teach yourself, which is what it is. Arkin, what Arkin do I recommend? The EP5. I got a full review on that, Gerald. If you haven't seen that, it's a really good optic for the money. It's probably the best optic that I've seen, you know, probably under $1,000. I think it's an excellent optic.
Aaron says, do you think we'll be in without rule of law by spring? People are saying winter is supposed to be bad. Are we talking Game of Thrones here or what?
Be in
without rule of law.
No, not by spring. I think, I don't know. I'm not going to try to predict what's going to happen in the next few months for sure, but we're definitely where we're going to see probably something very similar to what we saw in the summer of 2019 going into 2020 and all the riots and everything that we had is midterms. We're going to start seeing some midterms kick up, and then 2024. Stand by for 2024.
Yeah.
And be prepared for 2024. I think there's probably, I think unless there is some gross overt fraud, we're probably going to have Trump back in. And whether you think that is good or bad, I think regardless, we're going to see some major political unrest and civil unrest. So, you know, and that's another consideration, folks. Start buying the guns you want now. Start buying the ammo that you want now. If you think that ammo and guns are going to get cheaper than what they are right now, if you're waiting for the prices to drop, you're foolish. All right, it's just not going to happen. I think again over the next between midterms, everything that happens with we're probably going to see some rioting and things like that. People are going to be making more runs on guns and ammo again. You know, and these are all good reasons too. You need to also take a medical course. Between all the crazy thing that's going on out there, you know, medical services are always there, and you need to take responsibility for your own personal security, safety, and medical response. You are your first responder, and we need to always remember that. I can't push our med courses enough. I think they're the most important courses that we offer. It's the most important skill that you can have, and it's the one skill that I know people have walked out of our courses and saved lives with. I still to this day we've trained well over 5,000, if not 10,000 people over the last 7 or 8 years that we've been running this business. And I don't know one that's gotten to a gunfight, but I do know multiple times people have used the one that literally left our medical course, came upon a wreck in a rural area where the guy had partially severed leg, and used the contents of the kit that he just walked out with in the skill set that he just learned and saved that person's life. There's no if and or buts about it. And then there's been other emergencies that have taken place too that people have used that. So number one cause of death between the ages of 1 and 44 is traumatic injury. And, you know, everything from car wrecks. Folks, if you want to be prepared and you want to save lives, guns are important. Medical response skill And I'm not talking about first aid where you treat boo-boos and sprained ankles. I'm talking about traumatic injury. Being able to treat that and sustain life till you can get them to a higher level of care is the number one important skill that you can have. So, when your kid is sitting there and just had a major accident, you shouldn't be looking at them saying, hey, you know what, just hold on, I'm waiting on 911. You should be able to do something. And you got to have the skill and you got to have the equipment. Both of those are important. Don't just go out and buy a trauma kit and have a bunch of gear in there that you don't know how to use, or you don't know how to use correctly or in the right order, because there's a way to do things correctly, right? So again, that's one of those things that the training is important, and so is the equipment. I hate the idea that people actually think that they can make tourniquets out of, improvised tourniquets. You can, but they suck. All right. And the other thing is, when someone's sitting there bleeding out, that is not the time to go on a scavenger hunt and do arts and crafts. That's a silly plan. So you got to have purpose-made equipment to give yourself, your kids, your family the best chance of success of living through a traumatic event. What else we got there?
John says after the course, he signed up for EMT training and he's volunteering at an ambulance company now.
Nice, John.
Yeah.
I'm interested in having you do a rifle build with all this government stuff going on. Is the shipping of firearms becoming more complex? I'm in California, looking for a more 2A friendly state. So, John, it is more complex with California. I'll let you.
Yeah, California, I have to file with the Department of Justice to ship a rifle or a pistol into the state to your FFL. I have to get an approval letter from Department of Justice there. And if it's a pistol, it has to be on an approved list with whatever, I think it's state police or something. There's an approved list of pistols that are able to ship to the state. So California does make it a little more difficult. I have to have an account set up with Department of Justice. I have to go in for every firearm I ship there and create a shipment and get an approval letter and blah, 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 blah.
With that being said, we do it all the time.
We do.
It's a little bit more, it's more complicated on our end. It's not really that much more complicated on your end.
Except
so
the usual waiting time and all that stuff that you already know about, I'm sure.
John, if you'd like to get a rifle build going, again, you can go on the website and order it directly if you know exactly what you want. Go to the MPA, go to our website, go to Masterpiece Arms, or if you want to do a conference call, I have no problems where we can sit down and do a quick call, a little consultation to make sure that you're aware of all the options. I get an idea of exactly what you're trying to accomplish so that we can make sure that rifle build is exactly what you want. We can talk about optics, mounts, what you want me to do. If you want me to just do everything where, it's in a case, it arrives, it's ready to basically take out and shoot. Some clients even have me zero their guns for them. I'll do that. And we charge you for it, but it's very reasonable what I charge for complete setup of your gun. So
that is very reasonable.
What did Jason say?
Jason said he's talking about he needs to sign up for the last traumatic injury response.
So I know Jason has taken our med course
4
or 5 times. And again, folks, I don't care if it's our med courses or handgun courses or carbine courses. You're going to get something out of it every single time. All right. We don't just do cookie cutter nonsense. We push every person individually. You're going to hear things differently that click differently from different instructors. We're going to change up drills just in a way that things click or help you, or you can literally come to us during a course and say, hey, Gary, I'm really struggling with this. And, that's something that right there on the spot I can fix. Or one of the things that we're really good at is just, again, going down the line, observing people and seeing the things that they're doing wrong, the little nuanced things that are really holding you back. We make little tweaks, and folks, it opens up your ability to grow as a shooter, to grow as a medical responder, to grow as your own responder, and to grow mentally on how you're going to react to stress overall.
Yep.
Aaron? What's Aaron say here?
Aaron said he's got to go on a site tour.
Go on a site tour.
Guessing he's on at work.
Get after it, Aaron.
John says I'll go to the site. Ed said is TCCC no longer an option? It is.
It is. So we kind of made the decision not to run a TCCC this year. So folks, just so you understand, number one, the medical courses that we offer, we're one of like 2 companies, private companies on the East Coast. We are NAMT, an NAMT training site. We're National Association of Medical technicians. So we're certified. We teach the curriculum that is approved through them. We add a lot to it. But with us, you get a actual certification that's good for 3 years.
The curriculum that NEMT has put out, I think they came out with it last year. It was more geared toward law enforcement and civilians.
So yeah, and to clarify, there's basically 3 different courses. There's traumatic injury, tactical emergency casualty care, and then there's tactical emergency casualty care law enforcement, and then there's TCCC, which is a much more advanced. We get into basically minor surgeries. We're going everything into needle decompression, cricothyroidotomies. We teach all that stuff. So it's definitely much more advanced. Probably, and that's the thing that we always struggle with, probably too advanced for most people. So what we always require is that you're going to take one of the TECC courses that I rename as traumatic injury response, but that is the actual curriculum. And the reason I do that is so as soon as we throw up the word tactical up there, people don't think that it applies to everyday stuff. So it's the same curriculum. I just renamed it and branded it as traumatic injury response course. So people understand that it's not just if you're a soldier or, a military law enforcement or whatever it is. So that's that course. And that's the course you start take at the beginning. And then we do teach the TCCC usually about once every 2 years. And to answer your question, and we're probably due for one next year. There's a lot that goes into that. We get a lot of training aids. We end up getting basically the entire throat section of animals from butchers. Some of the times we have actually gotten animals. We've done, the animal is terminated as ethically as possible. But then we also do wounding. We show you what gunshot wounds look like, how to treat those. We show you a whole variety of different things. And then after that, we actually open that animal up. We show you the injury and what a gunshot actually does internally. So there's a lot that goes into that, and it's not for everybody. And there needs to be a certain level of expertise and training before you go take that. And just like with anything, we basically do a 2 or 3 to 1 ratio. So like for every level 2 course, we're probably going to have 3 level 1 courses so that we can fill that level 2 course. Hopefully that makes sense to people. So we don't do as many med courses per year as we do gun courses. So sometimes there might be a year we don't do a full TCCC, but that course is obviously still available to us. We're still going to do it. It's just a matter of finding the right time.
Yeah, used to be funny. I'd roll up at the butcher shop with coolers,
Yeah,
and picking up all these sets of lungs and tracheas and stuff. And they're like, "What are you doing with this stuff?" They had to document it for.
She's like, "I'm starving."
For the USDA. It was the whole thing.
Yeah, you definitely learn anatomy really well, and again, you learn some really life-saving skill sets that are just super important. What else we got there?
We got class prep for tomorrow.
So we got courses going on tomorrow.
You.
Oh, you do too. You got to be out there. Summer takes care of a lot of things there. Again, behind the scenes, mainly me. She just keeps me straight, which is a full-time job as it is. Paul Woodruff said, "I'm 54. We played with that stuff in junior high." I'm not sure what your
I think you smell like the lungs and
stuff like that.
Yeah,
folks, that's another thing that that's kind of spurs another great point. I hear a lot of folks that say, "Hey, I took like a TCCC 10 years ago." Folks, that stuff has changed so much. Even from when I was taking it in special operations, we've continued to learn, just like anything, what works best. If you've taken a course 5 years ago, the course that you'll take today is significantly different enough that it is worth the price. We got a lot of things wrong in OIF, OEF, all through that entire 20 years. For the first 10 years, we were doing things, we killed a lot of people because of poor treatment, mainly pushing IVs, pushing IVs and pushing fluids into people when they are bleeding out is one of the most dangerous things you can do. The other thing that we really got wrong was not addressing hypothermia. And I don't mean cold-induced hypothermia. I mean, it's 120 degrees out, you've lost blood, and you're still hypothermic. That also killed a lot of people. So again, there's a lot of new information that's, and again, even 5 years ago, we've continued to update the curriculum. The other thing is also equipment, right? So tourniquets have gotten better. There's lots of different and new and better remedies and products that really help this process. And those are some of the things that we address during our courses as well. So keep that in mind. All right, folks, we're going to give you one last chance to ask any questions, and then we're going to call it a day. Once you get started with your weekend, we're going to get started back to work and prepping for tomorrow. Frog dissection. I don't think they do frog dissections
I
anymore.
wonder if they do.
I don't think they do. Not in high school.
I did that in high school.
That's too mean
graphic.
and evil.
Yeah.
Kids can't handle that today. They can kill people all day long on
I
freaking
hated it. It was just
video games.
It smelled weird. I
It
didn't like
does smell weird. It smells like dead frog.
yeah, I didn't like the smell.
All right, folks. Look, hey, we really appreciate you showing up. Again, make sure you go sign up for our Substack. Make sure if you're not, you have subscribed to our channel. Make sure you hit the bell icon so you can see with notifications. Share our stuff. Really helps us as well. Helps us overcome the challenges that we are facing with censorship through YouTube and those other things. So we appreciate that. I don't know. Go to our store, buy much stuff. Do that too. All right, folks. Anyways, you guys have a great weekend. God bless you all. Stay armed. Stay ready. We'll talk to you soon.